Welcome to another video in the date series. In this video, we'll see about some important date functions. These functions we'll see. Also, we'll see how to add or subtract days, months, or years from a given date. So let's start with today function. This function returns the serial number of the current date, which is like today's date. So whenever you'll open your worksheet, it will display the current date of the system. Let's check equal to today. Enter. Shows 19th January 2023. Which is today's date, you can see here. Next is EDATE. EDATE returns the serial number of the date, that is the given number of months before or after a specified date. So here the parameters are start date and months, and the months will be any number that may be a positive number or a negative number. Let's check here. Equal to EDATE. Start date, let's take this date, today's date, comma, and in months let's put -5, close bracket, enter, and it shows 19th August 2022. So if you go 5 months back from today's date, it will be this date, or in the formula, if we remove minus, so we are adding 5 months from today's date, it will show 19th June 2023. So this function is also used to get the renewal date after a given month from the date of issue. So let's say you have taken a subscription of 15 months from today's date. So this function will return you the renewal date after the given months. Next we'll see day, month, year. Day function returns the day from 1 to 31, and the parameter is a serial number which represents a date equal to day. So needs the argument as a serial number. We'll use this date, and let's first convert it into a serial number. We'll change it to general, and this is the corresponding serial number. And now let's apply the function equal to day serial number this, close the bracket, enter, and it shows the day as 19 because today's date is 19. Similarly for month, equal to month serial number this, enter, and 1 means January. So it gives the output as 1 to 12. So 1 represents January and 12 represents December. Similarly for year, equal to year, the serial number, and it shows 2023 as the year. So that is how we can find out the day, month, or year from a given serial number which represents a date. Next we'll see the date function. This function returns the serial number of a particular date, and the parameters are year, month, and day. So we need to provide the year, month, and day equal to date. Now we have already got this day, month, and year, and we'll pass these values as the parameters. So in year we'll give this year, comma, month, comma, day, and it shows 19th January 2023. So if we have day, month, and year in separate columns, we can form the date using this function. Next we'll see how to add or subtract days, months, or year, or the combination of all these values from a given date. First let's see how to add or subtract days from a given date. Equal to, let's use this date plus 5, enter, and it will give us 24th January 2023, which is 5 days from today. Similarly, we can also make it -5, enter, and it will go back 5 days from today's date. Similarly, if the number is big, let's say 55 days, we can add or subtract like this. Similarly for month, we already have a dedicated function which we have seen, this EDATE. So let's apply it again here. Equal to EDATE. Start date, again let's check today's date, comma, months, let's say -4, enter, and it will show 19th September 2022, which is 4 months back from current month. Let's check for years. So for years, we don't have any dedicated function or any direct way, so we have to use a formula, and for that we have to use the date function. Let's apply equal to date, and here the parameters are year, month, and day. So because we are going to add or subtract years from current date, we have to do the plus or minus operation in this year function. So first apply this year function with a serial number. Let's take this number, serial number, it will provide us the year of this date, and on that we'll add or subtract the number of years. So I'll add plus, let's say 16 years, then comma. To get the month, we'll use the month function, serial number this, and for day, day function, and close the bracket. Let's see the formula again. Equal to date, and for year we are getting the current year, and we are adding 16 here. So we are basically adding 16 years from current date, and then month, and then day. Press enter, and we are getting this date, that is 19th January 2039, that is 16 years from now. Now let's add or subtract all these values from a given date. For that, again we have to use the date function, equal to date, then year, serial number this, and we'll subtract 5 years from now, then comma. Now month, month function, serial number this, we'll add 9 months, comma, day function, minus 14 days, close the bracket. So this is your formula. Inside the date function, we are adding, or we can say we are subtracting 5 years from current year, and then adding 9 months from the current month, and subtracting 14 days from current day. So the date is 5th October 2018. So this is how you can calculate days, months, or years from a given date. Next we'll see this function, date difference. It calculates the number of days, months, or years between two dates. So parameters are start date, end date, and unit. So unit is basically days, months, or years. So in which unit we need the output, equal to date difference. So when you type, it may not populate the function, so you have to type completely So let's take today's date as the start date, then comma, and end date, let's take this one, then comma, and unit will take days. So for days, the code is D. So under double quotes, we'll provide D, enter. You can see this number error. That is because the start date here, this is greater than the end date. So in that case, you will get the error. So the start date should be lesser than the end date. So let's change this formula. We'll make H5 as the start date and then E4 as the end date. Now we can see 55 days. Let's check for month. We'll calculate the month difference between this date and this date. So here in this formula, it will be I5 to E4 and the code will be M. Press enter and it is 4 months. Similarly for years, we'll take this date. So the start date should be lesser. So here the start date will be this E4 and end date will be J5 and here the code will be Y and the difference is 16 years. Next we'll see the days function. This function returns the number of days between two dates, end date and start date. We'll see here equal to days, end date, let's take this one, comma, start date, this one, and the number of days is 151 between these two dates. We can also check equal to this date minus this date, which is 151. Next we'll see the weekday function. This function returns the day of the week. So what is the day of a week? And the output ranges from 1 to 7, 1 being Sunday and 7 being Saturday by default. And here the arguments are number and type. So number is basically the serial number of the date and type. So if it is blank or 1, then by default it takes Sunday as 1 and Saturday as 7. If we're providing 2, then it takes Monday as the start of the week. But mostly we take Sunday as the first day of the week, that is 1 equal to weekday. Now we need to convert it into serial number equal to weekday, serial number this one, then close the bracket. So by default 1 is taken as Sunday, enter, and the output is 5. So 5 means Thursday. So that is from any given date you can find out what is the day it is from the week. Next is workday function. Start day will take this date. Days, let's consider 10 days from today's date. Then holidays. So holidays I have already defined these two dates, that is 25th January and 26th January 2023. So I'm taking this range B4 to B5. So it can be any range you can take from your holidays list. So from this function we'll get what is the next working day after 10 days considering the weekends and these two holidays, and it is showing as 6th February 2023. So this will be the next working day after 10 days. Next we'll see this function NETWORKDAYS, and the parameters are start date, end date and holidays. So it returns the number of whole working days between start date and end date excluding the weekends and holidays. So we'll take the start date as this date. So first we'll convert it into the date format and we'll apply this function. Start date will be this, comma, end date, let's take 31st January 2023, that is end of this month. Holidays, again let's take this range, this will be under double quotes, enter. So it returns 7, that is there are 7 working days from today till 31st January 2023 excluding the weekends and these two holidays. We can check these two dates, then there is weekend. In this week there will be 3 days because there are two holidays, 25th and 26th. So 3 days, so total 5 days, and 30th and 31st 2 days. So total we have 7 working days. So these are some important date related functions in Excel. If you want to check more date and time related functions, you can visit this site, that is Microsoft support, and here you can get all those functions. I hope this video helps, and for more date related videos you can check this playlist. If you like this video, click on the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.